Well, thousands of people tie the knot every year, but now many people are saying I do to themselves.
You love yourself, okay? It's self-love. To what extent do you show self-love? Have you heard this word before? Sologamy. It's a self-love marriage. I mean, break it down. It's an act of marrying oneself.
We want to talk about a new trend in self-love. It's called sologamy.
Sologamy. Sologamy.
Speak about this thing called sologamy that people are doing.
Essentially, it's a trend of women marrying themselves.
Is the act of marrying oneself.
I'm thinking of marrying myself. What do you think?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
You just think it's crazy, don't you?
it's a little crazy, yeah.
You can decide to set up a big wedding, maybe a small wedding, to marry yourself. And everybody should just be happy and fine.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered today to join Sue Sylvester and Sue Sylvester in holy matrimony.
And I cherish myself. Well, then why don't you just marry yourself?
That explains why some people who are single decide to stay single.
I didn't want to cheat on myself. I didn't want to date other people because I felt like I was cheating on myself. I just have this thing where I treat myself really, really good. You know, I treat myself really well. If you were with someone who treated you the way you treated yourself, would you still want to be with that person? And so in the way I think of it is, who can treat me better than I treat myself?
That society has actually placed a huge burden on women to get married. It's also on men slightly.
You come home, I make sure you get a wife as little or no cost.
No, I don't want.
So yeah, now parents, can you take care of my daughter? Full stop. If you say yes, oh, that's how they're doing it at home now. All of you should marry between 28 and 30. You arrive for that now.
I'm just 30.
It's huge on women's side because as a woman, if you clock 40 or 30 or probably 35 and you're not married, they say it like you're not happy. They say that you're not fulfilled. They say it like you have a problem. Your village people must be after you or something. Something spiritual is your problem.
I kept getting the question, like, how come you're not married? Why aren't you married? And what's wrong with you for not being married? And I was getting a little tired of answering that question.
I feel like a woman's chance to be wanted and worthy in our culture is actually measured in dog years. I'm sorry. We are really given this little window to find a mate, find a family, have it all, you know, before we're 35.
The first time we ever heard this word was in 1993 when a woman got married to herself. It was a perfect wedding. I mean, they had bridesmaids. Everything went as planned, like a proper wedding should go. So a couple years later, being single and being lonely became something to be proud of. To the extent that many women have decided that, well, if they're not married till 40, the best thing to do is to marry themselves.
Hi, it's Carrie Bradshaw. I wanted to let you know that I'm getting married to myself.
But somehow this is not so peaceful because some people actually divorce themselves. Divorce herself. Yes, she got married to herself and she divorced herself.
What happens if you do find someone else?
You divorce yourself.
Exactly. Or
and
maybe
you have to split your assets between your multiple personalities.
It's going to be weird.
This is more complicated than I thought.
Like this woman from Brazil, she decided to call it quits just 90 days after marrying herself. Apparently, she found someone else.
I mean, there's problem everywhere. If you're in a relationship, there's problem. If you're single, you're not married, there's problem. And if you divorce yourself, you're practicing sologamy and you divorce yourself, there is a problem. This had actually been a woman's thing, and the first man to actually practice sologamy, he went into sologamy by error. This is how it happened. So he was supposed to marry this lady, and they've been dating for some time, the love was there, and the family, you know, agreed to this marriage, and it was just going as planned until the day of the wedding. The lady didn't show up, and he was standing alone at the altar. So he decided, you know what, guys, bring me a mirror. So they brought a mirror to him. He stood in front of the mirror and got married to himself. Why I'm doing this video is not to cast or blame anybody. It's just to point out what society has placed on us and how this really affects us. Maybe you've heard about the story of this woman who actually committed suicide. She committed suicide because she couldn't get married. This tells you how huge this burden is that the society has placed on women. I used to have this radio show called Emotions, and this lady called on the show and she was telling me her story. She told me that she's clocking 45 and her parents are pushing her to leave the house, that she's single, she's lonely, she hasn't found love, and she seems like she has a problem with herself. I saw a young woman who is going through a lot from the society's expectation. So to fix this, she came up with calling the radio show Searching for True Love, even if the person doesn't love her back. That tells you how huge this problem is. This tagline of must find a husband by all means necessary.
Beautiful women in the world walking the Victoria's Secret runway. But this morning, Adriana Lima is getting attention for her relationship with herself.
So the thing is, some women are actually practicing this without even knowing it. You're showing self-love, you're caring for yourself. I mean, you're practicing all the attributes of sologamy. Then why not make it official and go down to the altar and be bold enough to take that step? I mean, it's your decision to make, it's not mine or anybody. If you make it official, it becomes a taboo in Africa. Some people are married to men today they're not happy with, and some have actually got into domestic abuse because they can't stand staying without getting married.
I remember at one point looking at that ring on my finger and thinking to myself, wow, how could I have gotten so far along in my life and almost committed to this other person before I had committed to myself and my own needs. So this idea came into my head that I was going to commit to myself and that I should just marry myself.
Thank you for watching today's YouTube video. Please like, subscribe, do all those things we ask you to do because it helps the channel. It's Kels right here. Bye for now.